Back when I first picked up a camera, I dreamed of moving to New York and just shooting street photography every single day. I didn't even really know why I wanted to do it. I think it was just that the people I looked up to were in New York, and that's how I thought I would make it. But then I realized that I'm actually quite poor, and America doesn't exactly welcome people in with open arms. So I left that plan behind. So what followed was a few years of shooting in my boring hometown, which until a few years ago was just a small town in the English countryside. Nice enough, but not much going on. And over the years, I realized how valuable that time was and how it can give you skills that you might not learn if you were living in the most photographable areas. So whether you're just starting out or you've been photographing the same car park for the last 5 years, this video could give you a new perspective on your shitty hometown. But first, if you find yourself editing in coffee shops or connecting to that shitty hotel Wi-Fi, then you're going to need to keep yourself safe with something like NordVPN. A VPN keeps you safe while you're browsing the internet by hiding your IP address and routing your traffic through a secure server. But it also allows you to access location-based content on things like streaming platforms like Netflix or Prime. So you'll be able to watch everything rather than what's available just in your country. Internet security really isn't something that you want to take for granted. So sign up now and you'll get a massive 72% off, and you'll get an Amazon gift card. I'll get a small affiliate commission and you'll be safe on the internet and you'll be able to watch Friends or whatever. But anyway, let's get back into it. I'm going to talk about how your boring hometown can turn you into a crazy good photographer. But first, I need to talk about how it changes what you shoot. Most of us start off by being influenced in a similar way to how I was. You see photographers that you like, they tend to be from the biggest places like New York or London or LA, and then you want to shoot like them in the same places as them. But then you realize you can't because you can't afford to move or to travel, and it leaves you with two choices usually. You either stop shooting or you shoot where you are. And I guess that kind of makes or breaks some photographers. But those that carry on usually tend to kind of figure themselves out as a photographer. And here's why. If you can't shoot what you're influenced to shoot, then you really have to start questioning yourself about what it is you actually want to shoot. And you start to develop your identity as a photographer. And you might not have the most beautiful landscapes outside or the best city on your doorstep. But usually, no matter where you are, there are people. And where there are people, there are stories. And where there are stories, there are good photographs. The lack of easy subjects makes you really have to think about how to make a compelling story or how to find compelling subjects. And those are things that some people never have to do, never have to even think about. And this leads me on to the big point. Your boring town is making you a better photographer, but only if you're putting in the work. And I'll put it like this. Let's say you're a footballer, and I mean actual football, not like the game of football that's played with your hands, but the one that's played with your feet. If you were a footballer and you only ever played with people that were worse than you, then by comparison, you would seem really good.
Get in there! Well done, he's 13.
But you probably wouldn't actually be getting any better. On the flip side, if you're a footballer and you only ever play with people who are much better than you, by comparison, you'll look like shit. But you'll be getting better and better every single week. Shooting in your boring hometown is like that. You're shooting in hard mode. You're learning to see because you really have to learn to see photographically in order to get anything, like getting blood out of a stone. And hey, I'm not trying to say that if you're from a boring town, you're the only people that learn how to see photographically, Clearly, there are amazing photographers everywhere. That's not the point. But the point is, when you do live in a boring town or a boring place, whatever it may be, you build that muscle because you have to, because you don't have any choice. You just have to build this creative muscle and a kind of photographic identity and a drive and resourcefulness because you don't have any other choice. And I think what that can mean is that when you do find yourself in better locations, you see things differently because you've had to learn to do that already in the place where there was nothing. And it makes things completely different. And I know it's so hard to keep this in mind when all you see online is like insane pictures of LA or some national park, but there are amazing things to photograph right where you are. And it might not be exactly what you want to photograph. You know, when I first started, I wanted to be a street photographer. In my hometown, that wasn't really something that you can do. There's not enough people. It's just not the same. But there were enough people to take portraits of people. There's a whole community. There's things going on. There's sports. There's all sorts. Just because you don't necessarily want to be that kind of photographer doesn't mean you can't learn a shitload from those kinds of things. And you might find along the way that actually there is something there that you love shooting. I guarantee that spending time on any project will make you a better photographer, and it will unlock skills that you didn't know you needed. And they might be skills that people that have it a lot easier or they're in better locations never need to learn. I think you should take pride in the fact that where you are is hard to shoot, because I think that it's making you a better and more resourceful photographer as long as you have that drive to go and shoot. If nothing else, treat it as your training ground. But to be honest, I genuinely think there's loads of amazing stories to tell right where you are. If you don't know what to shoot, buy a newspaper, buy your local newspaper. Take a look at some of the stories in there. There will definitely be something that catches your eye and you go, oh, that would be really cool actually. It could be a local community that, you know, plants flowers. It could be a festival that you didn't know about. It could be anything. Oh yeah, and before everyone says that my hometown is actually beautiful, everyone's hometown is boring to them, and everyone else's, the grass is always greener, blah, blah, blah. The point still stands, so I don't care. But if you enjoyed the video, then drop me a subscribe. It's the completely free thing that you can do that really supports this channel, and it's really cool. And thanks as always. Take care. Have a great week, or whenever the next video comes out. Whenever I next see you. Maybe I'll never see you again. I don't know. But take care.